Hello everyone, welcome to this next video on logical function where we will be talking about switch. Now what is this switch function? Now as the switch function says, it evaluates an expression against a list of values and returns one of multiple possible result expressions. Right? It looks a little bit complex. Let's try and dissect it. Let's try and demystify it. So if you look at the syntax for switch, switch evaluates an expression, and this expression can be a DAX expression, it can be a value as well, and this is the expression that we want to evaluate. So it can be a column, it can be a formula, it can be a constant. The output of this expression will always be a scalar value. Okay, for example, we are evaluating, let's say, the month number, or we are evaluating something like we are taking the three left characters from the product SKU, right? So this will always evaluate to a scalar value. Now once we get this value will be matched against value 1, right? So if expression equals value 1, then we will have the result 1. Similarly, if the expression matches value 2, then we'll have a result 2, result 3, result 4, so on and so forth. For example, if I am using the month number, if the month number is 1, then I'll call it January. If the month number is 2, I'll call it February. Similarly, I can use the month name, vice versa. If the month name is January, I will call it 1. Then these values will interchange, right? And then I have the else condition. So the value to return, if none of these values, none of these arguments match the expression, right? That will be captured with an else. So this is what switch is all about. So it is very much similar to an if-else condition or a multiple if condition, right? Now let's try to put this into perspective and understand it better. Let's move to Power BI. All right, now let's say I go to the calendar lookup table, and if you see in the calendar lookup table, I don't have the day number. Let's say I would like to assign some day numbers to these days that we have: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I would like to say that Monday will be day number 1, Tuesday will be day number 2, Wednesday will be day number 3, so on and so forth. Right, now there is a function here. If I go to transform data and go to calendar lookup, select my date, go to add column, date, day, and if I look at day of week, it'll tell me whether it's day number 1 or day number 2, day number 3, so on and so forth, something like this. So it'll range between 0 to 6, 7 days in a week. The same logic, now let me remove this, the same logic can be implemented with switch function. How do I do it? Now, if I use the if condition here, let's first try using the if condition. What if I want to evaluate multiple if conditions? So I go to new column and I say day number, and I would say if logical test, if day name is a Monday, then I'll call it day number 1. Okay. Now what if it is false? Again, I will have to write another if statement to catch the exception, which is the other days, right? So if day name, if day name is Tuesday. I'll call it day number 2. Again, the other exceptions, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, another if condition. I'll have to say day name is equal to Wednesday. I'll call it day number 3. Do you see the problem here? If you have more number of categories, we have to keep doing this over and over again. So I'll wrap this up here. So I'll say all other exceptions, I'll put it as day other. Okay. And then I have to close all the parentheses now. So this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. Now if I click on enter, so now if you look at here, any Monday, all Mondays are 1, but since I put all the other days after Wednesday in others, so if I click on a Thursday, it's other, right? Now the same logic can be implemented with switch. Now, how do we do it? Now let me delete this and go to new column. Let me call this day num again. And this time I'll use switch. So switch would require an expression. In this case, the expression is day name. Okay, now I'll have to come up with a value and then a corresponding result. So now I'll say if the value is Monday, I would call it day number 1. Now there's a trick here. I don't have to write all the values. If I do a Alt, Shift, and down arrow key, I can copy and paste all the values here, the last line of the DAX. Right, so I have Monday. Next is I'll evaluate Tuesday. Value is to 2. Then I have Wednesday. Evaluates to 3. Thursday evaluates to 4. Friday evaluates to this will evaluate to 4. This will evaluate to 5. Saturday evaluates to 6. And Sunday evaluates to 7. And then an optional else clause. So if there is any other exception, any other days given by out of these 7 days, we will handle it with other, and then I will close the function. Look at this, there we go. So since we have filtered it with Thursday, it's showing 4. Look at here. So if I now filter it with Sunday, it's day 7. Similarly, if I filter it with Monday, it's day 1. Right, now let's see how. Now we'll not see any other here because there is no other day other than these 7 days. So if I go here and instead of Sunday I say there is no Sunday, so I'm handling all the values till Saturday, and any other value will be put in other. So when I now execute this and I look at Sunday, look at this, Sunday will now be shown as other, right? Okay, so this is how we evaluate for categorical values. Okay, now the business comes up with a new logic where they're saying that we want to categorize customers just basis their annual income. Now they're saying that anyone above $140K annual income is a platinum customer. Anyone above 100K annual income is a gold customer, and anyone else is a silver customer. Something very much similar to what we did here, right? But this time we are only using the annual income, and we are evaluating more than one condition in annual income. So how do we do it? Again, we can use a switch function here. So how do you use a switch function? Let's look at how to evaluate switch functions that would evaluate to a logical function. Because we know that switch, the expression in switch, gives out a scalar value. In this case, it is not a scalar value. In this case, it will be, we are looking at a greater than, less than scenario. So when I go to new column, let's say we'll call it new tier of the customer, I'll be using switch. So if I use switch, the expression here should evaluate to something like this, right? I'll say annual income. If annual income is greater than 140,000, or if I go here and I say, sorry, yeah, greater than 140,000, it should be platinum. If it is greater than 100,000, it will be gold, and anything else will be silver, right? And then we close it, return it, and it throws us an error, right? Because switch would not recognize a greater than or a less than or a not equal to inequality or comparison operators, right? So in this case, what we have to do is we have to first come up with this true function, right? So switch would evaluate to true any of these conditions. So now we can come up with these conditions. So now I can say if it is greater than 140,000, we'll call it platinum. If annual income is greater than 100,000, we'll call it gold. Anything else will be clubbed under silver. Now let's try. Look at this, no error now. Let's look at here now. Let's look at platinum customers. Look at this. All above 140K. All above 140K. Right? Similarly, let's look at the other end. That is the silver. So if you look at the silver, look at this, 100,000. Right? Because that is what our logic said. Anything above 140,000 is platinum. Anything above 100,000 is a gold, and anything up to 100,000 is silver. Right? So I hope the switch function is clear. This is one of the most important DAX functions that we would be using in our videos forward. Right? If you have any questions, just put it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer. And if you have liked this video, please give a like and do subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.